My name is Hank Burton. I am the current Scoutmaster of Boy Scout Troop 65. We meet here at Suncrest United Methodist Church. The troop has been around since about 1939, and we moved to this church in the mid-1950s. During that time, we've received the support of this church and allowed us to put on the program that benefits the boys in the Morgantown area. I personally am one of the beneficiaries of this program. I was a scout in this troop since 1984, and I completed Eagle Scout, and then afterwards I became an adult leader, assistant scoutmaster, and then the scoutmaster of this troop. Since this troop has been here at Suncrest United Methodist Church, we have presented over 100 Eagle Scouts, and obviously hundreds of more boys have been through this program to benefit from Boy Scouting and from the support that this church has given us. In addition to Boy Scout Troop 65, there's also Cub Scout Pack 60, which meets here and receives support, and we're very appreciative of that. At Boy Scout Troop 65, we do a variety of different activities. We pride ourselves in having an active outdoor program. Every month we try to do one or two activities, whether it's just a simple camping trip, to a backpacking trip in the tri-state area, to the Dolly Sides, to Cranberry Glades, parts of the Appalachian Trail. There's also the week of summer camp that we do, where almost 75% of the troop goes out to Boy Scout Camp Mountaineer locally, and we spend the week out there working on various scouting skills and learning about things like first aid and wilderness survival, pioneering. Just a lot of fun outdoor activities that the boys get to partake in. Each summer we also pride ourselves in doing what we call our summer adventure trip, going to someplace big, whether it be to backpacking in Colorado in the Wemmanooch Wilderness, to Yellowstone National Park, to the Smoky Mountain National Park, to the Adirondacks in New York. We've been to a variety of places, and those places just make the highlight of the Scouts experience. In addition to just the typical activities that we do, such as camping and rock climbing and skiing, backpacking, hiking, there's also numerous service projects that we partake in. The boys need to do service projects as part of their advancement, and we do service projects within the community as well as sometimes outside of the area. Those are all just the things about being a scout. The service to others, the outdoor aspect. The boys have an opportunity to learn leadership skills, to work with each other, and ultimately just learn to become better people, better citizens, so they can then continue to serve their community and provide and help one another.
I'm the liaison between the church and the scout troop, and make sure that the scout troop is functioning, that the leaders are in place, and that everything is running according to the plans of the scouting. My role is very minimal right now because we have a very good leadership in the scout troops. The church is very active in scouting. The troops have been very active. They've had some very, very good scoutmasters. Mr. Bill Pales, Mr. Hank Burton right now have led this troop very, very actively. Although not many members of the church are active in the leadership, it has a very active leadership from the town, from the city. A lot of the adults are parents of the children that go to the troop, so they are very active. We have had some very active leaders from the church, I don't want to discount those. Mr. Bill Brewer has been very active for many years and has held council positions and has done very, very large amounts of work with the councils. The troop has been very active in the Bethel Center down in Beckley, and the origination of that is the National Center for National Adventure Center for the Boy Scouts of America. The troop worked down there as they were building it. They also did filming of some of the advertisements. They used some of the Scouts of our troop for that. So the troop has been very active throughout that. Fundraising for the scout troops depends a lot on the parking lot fees from the football games. So the troop is financially sound and doing very well.
was in this same troop back in 1941, and that was at that time the war was just getting started, and the two different things that we did was we used to pick up a lot of cans, tin cans, and milkweed. It grows out in the fields, and we got tons of that stuff. We took it down in Seneca and put it in a building, and they picked it up for water jackets for the Navy. Well, I guess for all of them. Let's see, in 1967, I think it was, I took the troop to Fillmore. Had 3 different ones that went with us from other troops to make it a contingent. As you go into the camp, they had those big logs. It was quite an experience. It was all scouting. When we left here, we went to Chicago and got on a train and went to Denver, Colorado, is where we went to. In Denver, their capital was a duplicate, only smaller, of Washington, D.C. And then we went to the Air Force Academy, which hadn't been there very long at that time. And then when we got into Philmont, you couldn't believe it. It was so big, 200 square miles. We had a ranger with us, and he's the one that had our itinerary too. And he stayed with us for 2 days. When we went up on Baldy, like I say, it stormed, and we was above the storm. All of them didn't go up there, so they covered up our gear down there, keep it from getting wet, and we never got a sprinkle. But we saw this an odd thing when you get above the clouds that way, and then the lightning's above them.
One time when we were there, it snowed.
Snowed?
So we were hiking in the snow at the top of the boulder.
Oh.
And there's snowball fights. I might add, too, that in our final boards of review for Eagle Scout, the question is often asked, what's your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing you've done in scouting? And they'd said, Philmont. It's a high adventure base. Well, I think scouting is the only program around that gives you an all-round rounding up, so to speak, of a boy. We kind of concentrate on citizenship, on the boy's mental and moral health, and his own physical. And in all of this, we're doing this on outings a lot. And they learn more about nature around and conservation. And they learn how to take care of themselves. But I just think it's the best all-around program for boys. I've stuck with it for that reason, and also I promised Hank Burton if he would take over when I retired, I'd stay on and help him. And so I've been here ever since.
I was a member of Boy Scout Troop 65. Our meetings were held in the basement of Drummond Chapel. We had weekend camping trips and week-long summer camps at Camp Mountaineer, which is located outside of Morgantown. I was an Eagle Scout, and I earned my God and Country Award, which required a year of study and service to the church under the direction of Reverend Charles High. I remember Joe Vorball as my scoutmaster and a great leader. In closing, I would like to say that scouting and my life in our church are truly blessings to me.
Softly falls the light of day as our campfire fades away. Silently each scout should ask, have I done my daily task? Have I kept my honor bright? Can I guiltless sleep tonight? Have I done and have I dared everything to be prepared? Listen, Lord, oh, listen, Lord, as I whisper soft and low. Bless my mom and bless my dad. There is something they should know. I have kept my honor bright. The oath and law have been my guide. Mom and Dad, this you should know. Deep in my heart I love you so. Softly falls the light of day as our campfire fades away. Silently each scout should ask, have I done my daily task? Have I kept my honor bright? Can I guiltless sleep tonight? Have I done and have I dared everything to be prepared? Listen, Lord, oh, listen, Lord, as I whisper soft and low. Bless my mom and bless my dad. There is something they should know. I have kept